we are ready. I'm going to pull back the curtain.
What are those
Here we
funny
are.
little things there? Oh, cassette tapes. What the heck is that?
We have some cassette tapes on our couch today. We actually saved a bunch of mixed tapes over the years. So,
TDK.
yeah. Do we still have something we can play them on? I'm not sure if we do.
That's the question, right? That's the dilemma.
Welcome, everyone. For those of you joining us for the first time, we're Sue and Dwight, and we are streaming live from our living room here in Toronto, Canada. And we're going to start off, so our mixtape theme tonight, we've got a bunch of great songs lined up for you. And what did we used to do with mixtapes? We'd put them together and share them with our friends. So that's what we're doing tonight. So here comes a song by a group called Fludd from the 70s. It's called Cousin Mary.
Cousin Mary was a lady who could really hold her own. She went fighting for her country, she went fighting for her home. And then there's a time she lost her husband, he was fighting for the right. She'll be leaving in the morning, won't you please say good night? She'll be leaving in the morning, won't you please say good night? All the money in the world couldn't tie old Mary down. Well, you can't believe her when she tells you she's had her turnarounds. There could be knights and kings and all the horses ready just to fight. She'll be leaving in the morning, won't you please say good night? She'll be leaving in the morning, won't you please say good night? Oh, so fair. She'll be leaving in the morning, won't you please take good care? She'll be leaving in the morning, won't you please take good care? Oh, lovely lady. Oh, so fair. She'll be leaving in the morning, won't you please take good care? She'll be leaving in the morning, won't you please take good care? There we go, right from
one of Dwight's
down here.
favorite songs, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's always anxious to include that in a show. Well, I'm going to take a minute and just check to see who's all in here, or who's all tuning in tonight. I see first in on Facebook, regaining his position as first in, is Martin. So he'd be watching with Kirsten from Bowen Island, BC, and Lauren from Scarborough here in Toronto. We've got Lori tuning in from Planet Flin Flon.
Oh.
She said it's not quite spring, but at least it's not 40 below. And Steve, coincidentally, right following Lori, he's right south of, straight south of Flin Flon in Texas. And we've got Charles tuning in from Bonnie, Scotland, and Earl and Wendy from Kansas. Gail is tuning in from Toronto. Judy here from BC, Brenda from here in Toronto, and Jan is saying hello from warm Tennessee. Ooh, nice. And Marlene from LA, she says, where the rain has finally stopped.
It never rains in Southern California. Come on, there's a song about that.
But it pours.
I guess, yeah.
We've got Peggy tuning in from Iowa, and Sherry from windy San Pedro, California. And we've got Donna. She says Vicky and I are Vicky and I are having dinner and listening to you guys. So those folks are right here in our neighborhood. I bet if we had a window on that wall, we could see them probably. And there's Kirsten saying hello on her own there. We've got John and Linda in Illinois. We've got Gwen tuning in from Toronto. She mentions that today was above freezing with melting snow. Yay. We're so glad about that. And Debbie tuning in from Campbell River, BC. And Lyle from Portage la Prairie in Manitoba. And we've got Maida tuning in from Montreal. And it's moving fast on me here. That's all I can see so far on Facebook. And over here on YouTube, first in was our Toronto Barb. Our San Diego Barb, and she mentioned that they were having gusty winds there today.
Are those the Santa Ana winds yet? You get them I know they get them around LA. I don't know if that's the right time of year.
Yeah, let us know.
Tell me about that.
We have Mickey, Mark, and Eleanor tuning in from beautiful Minnesota.
Great to see
Eleanor,
you all.
we hope you're doing well. We've got Kim and Peter tuning in from Belleville, beautiful city. Is the translation.
City on the lake. Yeah.
And Phyllis tuning in from Toronto. Oh, and Julie and Sadie are snuggling up and watching tonight. So we're going to continue on with a song that Dwight wrote, actually. This one...
it's all about I think, pages turning, eras changing. Sue and I went to Montreal in the early 80s. And it was going through a lot of changes at that time. And there was the old sort of culture being replaced by new culture. There's the old city and the new city. And we were we were staying with Sue's grandparents in the East End, the Balconville area that you've all heard of, and near the Papineau subway station. And it seemed that all of these competing forces, if you will, were all centered around Papineau Station, so that's kind of what this song is about.
We happen to see a lady that is sort of the centerpiece of this song, and it happens to be my mom's favorite song too, which is why I wanted to include it tonight. Here we go. Rainy night in the city without sleeping. Tears wash away what wasn't leaving you. Another day sinks slowly into darkness, and we see the lady standing with a broken heart as you. Station, see all the people and the things that they may sell. If you're going to Papineau Station, say hello to the lady with the sadness in her eye. Can you see her standing in the shadow? Voice cries out from memories deep inside. She packs her bags and wanders through the darkness, swiftly moving past the memories that are leaving
Station. See all the people and the things that they may sell. If you're going to Papineau Station, say hello to the lady with the sadness in her eye. Turn back the times at hand, revolution takes a stand, silently running deep. While at Notre Dame, candles burns out in the night.
Another night in the city without sleeping. Tears wash away what was and leave anew. Another day sinks slowly into darkness, and we see the lady standing with a broken heart at you. If you're going to Papineau Station, see all the people and the things that they may sell. If you're going to Papineau Station, say hello to the lady with the sadness in her eye. If you're going to Papineau Station, see all the people and the things that they may sell. Millions of people with their hands across the nation say hello to the lady with the sadness in her eye. Oh, that's a long breath.
That's a subway train just kind of rambling off there into the
Oh,
distance.
I see what you're doing there.
We haven't played that song in a while.
I know.
There's actually two versions of it. I recorded that song like in the early 80s.
With you singing the lead.
Just me in the lead,
Yeah.
and largely, yeah, with that. And then we redid it with
It's on our...
on Darlings of the Open Stage. Kevin Quain produced it, and we did a Sue version. So there you go. It's a very flexible song.
Hey, I'm just, I see a few more people have joined us. We've got Robin tuning in also from Texas. Oh, and I see Charles has opened the bar. So if you're on
open.
Facebook, you can belly up and grab one of his little emoticon drinks there.
Well, I hope Charles wised up and is now serving Collingwood whiskey from here in Ontario, because it's good stuff, Charles. I know.
Oh, he's got his
the
favorites.
Scotch like their whiskey, but you got to try that Collingwood stuff.
And over here on YouTube, I see that we still have all the same names there, but I do know that Renata and Dennis are probably tuning in tonight, as are Marianne and Kathy. So welcome, everyone. And this next song is one that Dwight wrote about a place that we visited in Malawi.
In Malawi.
And it holds kind of a special memory for us, and so he wrote a special song about it. Would you want to add to it?
Nah,
No, please.
I'll let my lyrics speak for itself.
let them
No, it's one of these things that's Malawi's a chili pepper shaped country, and the Lake Malawi runs along it. Beautiful sandy beaches, wonderful people that we met there, and
And you know,
Yeah.
you don't often really associate Africa,
With sandy
East
beaches.
Africa with sandy beaches, but this was just like a little oasis, I guess. And we were staying in a little place that it actually had palm trees, and we were on the beach, and we could look out and see the fishermen in their little boats, you know, out in the dark with just like a little candle.
Yeah, these guys still used to go out fishing in wooden boats,
Wooden
like small,
canoes,
almost
sort
like
of.
cutout canoes. And the night we were there, it was stormy, so you could look out on the lake and you'd see all these little boats because they use paraffin lamps, little candles.
Yeah.
It's really something. And then we got to meet the fishermen the next morning.
So this song is called Chinteche, and there's a part at the end where I need your help because Dwight will be
I'll be riffing.
he'll be
so
riffing
follow
on
the bouncing Sue.
and I need you to help me shore up the continuation of saying Chinteche. You'll see your part when we get to it. So.
The shores of Lake Malawi, just south of Ghandi Bay. There is a place frozen time and space, a town called Chinteche, 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 Chinteche. I'll come back to you. Fishermen ride the iguana, their nets bob among the waves. Paraffin lights guide them through the night, bring the chumbo to the market each day. A Chinteche, a Chinteche, Chinteche. I'll come back to you. She laughed the kids as off to school they go, while at home maize make the gardens grow. Wading through the towering corn, the long rains now are past. Ears reach up to the sky at last, yeah. The locals head to Salima, the stoners to Ghandi Bay. Tourist safari in Lawante Park, but I'm going to Chinteche, 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 Chinteche. I'll come back to you. Chinteche, Chinteche, Chinteche. I'll come back to you.
Here's where you help me.
On the beach, the kids are walking. You can hear the fishermen talking. Those waves are really rocking. I'll come back to you. Keep it going. On the beach, the kids are talking. You can hear the fishermen talking. Those waves are really rocking. I'll come back to you. Chinteche, I'll come back to you. Chinteche, I'll come back to you. Chinteche, I'll come back to you.
Oops.
Oops, I think our sing-along kind of
Well, I thought
fell apart
when
there.
I said, "Here's where you help me," I knew that was the spot, and then I kind of looked at you, and you kind of smiled, and so I wasn't sure if that was the spot, and then it just all fell apart
moment,
after that. So I bet you guys knew what to do, even though I didn't.
You'll
you
have
still
to,
kept
if you'd
you
like a
still kept
refund,
singing.
just speak to the ticket agent on your way out.
Oh well. You see, when you're live in the room, I wouldn't have, nobody would have even noticed my mistake because you would have all been singing along and covered over for me. But
Well, they all heard the single, right? They knew that. They heard the single, so they knew.
we haven't recorded this one yet.
I'm joking.
Oh, okay, but we should because it is such a good song. I
We'll
love
have
it.
to learn the part. We'll have to get the parts,
Yeah, I have
the
to.
parts straightened out first.
I'll work on that for next time. Well,
Put
this
that in the job jar.
yes, this next song is one that I wrote. It's a song all about, sort of discovering who you are. And one day, several years ago now, I've lost count of the number of years, but I was going through a trunk full of old letters and old things from my youth. And as I was reading them, I was thinking, who is that person? I mean, I know it was me, but, I've changed so much since then. And then I got thinking, if I've changed so much since then, how am I going to be in the future? Because I'm thinking that we are continually changing. And that's a good thing if you're changing for the better. And hopefully I am. And so that's what I wrote this song about, just trying to figure out who was I, who am I, and who will I be? And the song is called Who. Two, three, four. Memories I put away came flooding back to me. Today they tell me who I was, who I am, and who I will become someday. Photographs on display take me back to another day. They show me who I was, who I am, and who I will become someday. In one life, we're always changing, growing up, rearranging, make mistakes, then realize, see the world through different eyes. Letters from long ago, people I used to know, they remind me of who I was, who I am, and who I will become someday. They remind me of who I was, who I am, and who I will become someday. Who was I? Who am I? And who will I become someday?
And that song has been recorded. It's on our Little Child Big World record. Absolutely.
Now, all of our music is available at our website at sueanddwight.com. It's available to purchase by download or if you want to order CDs, but it's also, you can listen to them there as well. And we also have all our music that's been recorded on Spotify and other streaming services and stuff. So, we invite you to hear how the different takes are on some of these songs when there's just the two of us
The
playing
many
versus...
moods of
Yeah.
Sue and Dwight.
Because
Ooh,
usually
ah.
in the recording process, we've brought in more musicians to kind of round things out, and it always provides a little different little different take on the song. Oh, the accordion.
So Martin, I'm sure you're ahead of us on this
He's
one.
probably ahead of us.
The accordion's coming next, and we're telegraphing where we're going with this one. Here's a wonderful song about an old family member of mine and my Uncle Joe, and his trip all the way from Poland to Saskatchewan to Northern Ontario and then to Winnipeg. The song is called Uncle Joe. And it's a toe tapper, so I can already see Peggy out there
Peggy, are
getting
you
warmed up
dancing?
for dancing in the kitchen, and I'm sure Robin's not far behind. So here we go. One, okay. Oh, 1, 2, 3. I came here far away. I left my family, why I won't say. Came on a boat to this new land. I won't go back here, I'll make my stand. I traveled west to find a job. Instead got hit by Bennett's mob. Found a farm for room and board. Kiss the soil, thank the Lord. I stoop the wheat, work the soil, get room and board for all my toil. I work hard, did you know I'm the strongest hand? My name is Joe. My friend Stan found a way to make some money, keep our pay. We head off to work the shield, go underground and leave the fields. Black flies bite, wake to the bell. A bunkhouse puts out quite a smell. Play the cards to the night, call us bohunks. By Jimbo we fight. I drill the rock, blast the ore, muck the muck, go back for more. From Winnipeg to Pickle Crow, I'm the king miner, my name is Joe. He sits with us, it's Saturday night. We watch the hockey start to fight. He calls us cats, but we are bad. Winks at us and never gets mad. We shouldn't step, he rolls his own. Gives us a puff before the folks get home. Promise him that we won't tell, and brag to Dad, and Joe gets hell. I dig the garden, plant the seeds, cut the lawn and pull the weeds. Go to the market, clear the snow. Mary's husband, my name is Joe. Joe got older, settled down, used a cane to help get around. Shop the bargains at the Safeway store and pack the bags, go back for more. He come out to watch us play, stay with her dog when we go away. Kid's best uncle, dog's best friend, we couldn't wait to see him again. We laugh with him, watch the sport, cut the rye bread, he pours the snort. I think of him for high and low, and always love him as my Uncle Joe. I stoop the wheat, work the soil, get room and board for all my toil. I work hard, and did you know I'm the strongest hand? My name is Joe. Laugh with him, watch the sport, cut the rye bread, he pours a snort. I think of him, high and low, I'll always love him, he's my Uncle Joe.
rock and roll ending.
You were shredding there. Wow, you were shredding on the Norman six string. Yeah, Uncle Joe there,
Uncle
and you know he
Joe.
used to. He was a miner, so you work down in the mines, you get bad joints, and he had a bad knee. So when he got a cane, he would walk with a little bit of a limp. And I remember thinking about that when I wrote the song. I thought, you know, that's kind of the way
The rhythm
that
of the
Cajun
song.
beat is kind of the rhythm of the song. Is kind of the way my Uncle Joe would walk down the street. And in the days when people did actually walk down the street. So there you have it.
They don't walk down the street anymore.
Not
They
that much in
drive.
Winnipeg. We do here in Toronto. We walk a lot. We don't even have a car. We ever tell you that? We don't have a car. People think we're nuts.
Oh, Martin says that kalimba can only mean one thing. We have a few kalimba players out there. I know that Peggy, you have one, Robin, and Sherry, I understand that you picked up a pretty cool one, a coconut-shaped one, which I'd love to see a picture of that, actually.
Oh, yeah.
That was when you were in Hawaii, wasn't it? That I seem to remember that, so hope you guys were playing along. Poetry Corner, for those of you joining us for the first time, is a little short segment in the middle of our show where I read a poem, usually one that I've written, although sometimes we do have
Special guest poets.
Special guests. But tonight I am going to read one of mine. At the beginning of the pandemic, I joined this wonderful group of poets online, and we meet every week, although we've had to cancel a couple, but I'm looking forward to us getting back. We meet and we share poetry that we've written, and before this I had not written poetry, and so I was a little surprised that I was able to join the group, but they're a very welcoming group, and I've just found that poetry is just such a fabulous way to express yourself, another way like songwriting where you can just put your thoughts into out there in a creative way. So this is we usually work on a theme, or what do we call it?
Prompt.
A prompt. And the week that I wrote this one, the prompt was games, and I call it fun and games. I'm not particularly good at games, especially those where you stop at nothing to win, no matter what gets in your way. Games should be played for fun, right? Then why is there always so much pressure to win? And why do players often fight? We don't always have to be the best at every single thing we choose to take part in, although that's often what we expect. Participation and not perfection. Maybe that is how all games should be approached, so not winning can still be fun.
The games
It
people
was
play.
a short one. Yes, I thought I recognized that in the back. Yeah,
Yeah,
the games people play. That's a great song.
Participation. Do you say participation versus perfection? What's that?
Participation and not perfection.
Aha. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So, because it's kind of interesting. There's always so much emphasis put on winning, but sometimes just playing the game is the most fun.
Well, when you think about it, like most games, think about athletics. Hey, we got to put the puck in the net. And it's kind of, well, why? You know.
Could have fun to
So what?
and moving around.
You know, we got to
It's
run
funny.
that ball over the goal line. It's like, well, no, you don't have to. You could run around in between, and no, I'm going to kill the other guy if I want to do it. Well, why? Well, because, I don't know.
It's funny you programmed Uncle Joe, although it was the accordion song, so this might have just been completely by accident. But in that song, you talk about watching the sport, watching hockey, and then you kids used to kind of play fight, I guess, when you do that.
Oh yeah, my brother and I were. He used to say, "Fighting like cats." That was my brother and I when he would babysit us. And
So you'd be watching.
and
the
then when
hockey game.
he would come out to watch our hockey games. This is in Winnipeg. You know, it's 30 below outside. My dad and the other dads would be out there, and Uncle Joe, their big parkas and all that stuff. But he stopped going to our games when we were around 12 because he said, as he called it, there was too much bumping.
He didn't
and he
like
didn't
the
like
rough
that.
stuff.
No, and he was no, you know,
He was,
he was a miner. He was a tough guy, and I don't think I would ever wanted to grapple with him. But he did not like gratuitous violence because I think he saw enough, you know, that violence on its own is really bad. But that's for another episode.
Are you going to play us out? I'll see if
I need some heads up on this. Should I play?
you know.
them?
I might have just missed it. Usually, Martin reminds us not to forget to play it out.
That was sounding actually pretty good today. I changed strings on my my kalimba.
Well, I saw you kind of with that, not recently, but one time, kind of just moving those little things around with some
The
pliers.
tines.
Is that how you do it? How you
Yeah,
tune
you
it, or-
tune. There's no none of these things out here. You know, you have to pull them with pliers unless you have really good fingers.
He I just want to
we
take a
should point
moment.
out to our
Yeah,
pile again.
we have a little pile of mixtapes here, and when I was working on the event invitation for this show, I don't know if you happen to notice there were some actual tapes in the photo, and those were from our real collection. And I happened to notice this one among them. It says, "To Auntie Sue and Uncle Dwight," and it's it says Brock and his mummy. So Brock is our one of our nephews in Winnipeg, and so Dwight said that maybe looks like your brother's handwriting. So now I'd love to go back and listen to this. I hope we have something to play on it, because it must be a long time since we got this tape. I'm thinking like 25 years or something. So now I'm dying to listen to it. So
I'm pretty sure my nephew doesn't call his mummy anymore.
Oh,
He's
he might.
32.
Well, I don't know. Mummy's a nice term. Yeah.
Mummy dearest.
Well, no, not that kind of
Okay.
use of it. No, a nice use of it. So this next song.
We don't. You know what? Oddly, for all the songs we play every month, we hardly play any Leonard Cohen.
No, and
And
we
we love
do
Leonard
have Leonard Cohen fans, so we thought this would be a great song to include on our mixtape. We don't have it on any of these ones here, unfortunately, so we're doing our mixtape live, and it's called "Famous Blue Raincoat." It's 4 in the morning, the end of December. I'm writing you now just to see if you're better. New York is cold, but I like where I'm living. There's music on Clinton Street all through the evening. I hear that you're building your little house deep in the desert. You're living for nothing now. Hope you're keeping some kind of record. Yes, and Jane came by with a lock of your hair. She said that you gave it to her that night that you planned to go clear. Did you ever go clear? The last time we saw you, you looked so much older. Your famous blue raincoat was torn at the shoulder. You'd been to the station to meet every train, and you came home without Lily Marlene. And you treated my woman to a fleck of your life. When she came back, she was nobody's wife. Well, I see you there with the rose in your teeth. One more thin gypsy thief. Well, I see Jane's awake. What can I possibly say? I guess that I miss you. I guess I forgive you. I'm glad you stood in my way. If you ever come by here, for Jen or for me, well, your enemy is sleeping and his woman is free. Yes, and thanks for the troubles you took from her eyes. I thought it was there for good, so I never tried. And Jane came by with the lock of her hair. She said that she gave it to her that night that you planned to go clear. Sincerely, L. Cohen. I love that he actually signs his name in that song.
Yeah, what a
great
way with
song.
lyrics that guy. You feel like you're on the street. It just kind of takes you right there.
Hey, I'm just going to check to see if I see any new names come up. I think I've got them all so far on Facebook. Even if we don't catch them all during the show, we definitely will see them after the show, because we make our dinner and then we go through all of the comments, and we enjoy it so much because we love to see what you're up to and how you're doing. So
See how the drink tray is whittles down by the end of the night. If anybody's what's hot on the
what's
menu?
hot on Charles's bar tray.
Yeah.
Yes, for those of you who are on YouTube, this might not make a lot of sense because you're not seeing it, but Charles posts a bunch of different little drinks, and just for fun, you can make your selections from
Literally
that bar.
table service.
Right to your computer,
right to
yes,
your laptop,
your phone, or whatever you're watching us
whatever
on.
your device is. So I'm trying to we don't have a theme this week, so it's kind of interesting.
Mixtape.
Mixtape. Okay. But thematically on the song, so
Yeah.
the themes of the songs. I'm trying to think how this one ties in with the last one. I'm not sure if it does, but it is a song I wrote that's highly fictional, but it's it's your typical person leaves their hometown, looking for a better life in the big city, and then goes back home and realizes it was all there to begin with. So this song is from our 4 Moments CD. Thanks to Mike Elmer for doing the production on this one, and it's called Big Sky. Left my home in Big River, headed for the city lights. Fame and fortune, find a better life. Past the Rocky Mountains to the ocean shore. But the strip nearly ate me alive, won't stick around for more. Out under a big sky, where the bright stars never end. Out under a big sky, feels like a long lost friend. I'm through with the city, tired of living alone. Out under a big sky, you will always find your way back home. Caught a Greyhound eastward, take my chances there. Though I met some friendly folks, no one seemed to care. And I just can't walk by someone out on the street. Time to get myself back home before it happens to me. Out under a big sky where the bright stars never end. Out under a big sky feels like a long lost friend. I'm through with the city, tired of living alone. Out under a big sky, you will always find your way back home. Now I'm back in Big River, think it's where I'll settle down. There ain't nothing for your soul like a prairie town. And I'll be rich as a king, though I won't have a dime. Start myself a family, and all I got is time. Out under a big sky where the bright stars never end. Out under a big sky feels like a long lost friend. I'm through with the city, tired of living alone. Out under a big sky, you will always find your way back home. Out under a big sky, you will always find your way back home.
Whenever we sing that song, which again is not, it's not one that we sing all that often, but what I always think of when we're singing it is just how beautiful the prairie sky actually is. And you know, there's sort of a joke that you can see for 3 days ahead
Your
in
dog
the
ran away
distance if your
from
dog
home
ran
and you
away
can see him for
for 3 days.
Yeah.
But there's some truth to that. It really, when you're standing out there, like if you go out into a rural area and stand in a field, it really does feel like the sky is enormous. And you know, downtown here, we've got all these giant skyscrapers all around us, and you don't get that feeling of the big sky that you do when you're out in a rural area.
And for all of you who live out in the prairies or have been there, you know what we're talking about. But I remember even when we were in Winnipeg, if you went west, I used to joke that you could see Calgary, or the Rocky Mountains from Regina, which is like a 13-hour ride. No, not 13, maybe about 10. But if you go east, you end up at the Canadian Shield. So I remember friends and I, we'd have these, you know, jovial arguments about which was better, going west where you just see nothing, and it is flat for miles, and there's a beauty to that, the big sky.
Yeah.
On the other hand, going the other way, there is certainly a beauty in the Canadian Shield. And I guess there's room for all of them, right?
Yes, well,
Diversity.
that is one of the
Yeah.
beautiful things about Canada, and I know that some of our viewers have planned to take a trip across the country, but unfortunately it was scuttled by the pandemic the first time, and hopefully they'll get to do that trip another time. But you will see that this is a very diverse country in terms of geography, and it's amazing what you'll see when you go through the various provinces. It's very different.
Well, we took a train back to Winnipeg a couple of years ago, and from Toronto to just west of Thunder Bay, or to the Manitoba border, let's say that way, you're still in Canadian Shield. So for the most part, you just see trees, and beautiful trees. And then all of a sudden you go across that Manitoba border, you go in about half an hour, and the Lake District ends, and then then you see all the way to Winnipeg, and it's gorgeous. Yeah.
And then if you continue on that trip, you go through Saskatchewan, which is even flatter. And then Alberta, you'll see all the beautiful Rockies and everything, and then on to BC on our beautiful west coast. So I hope you get a chance to do that trip after all. All right, well, this next song is one that I wrote. It's called Happy Little Children, and it's on our Little Child Big World CD. And I wrote this after having my own eyes opened quite a bit. We had done some traveling in East Africa, and saw lots of things that children in situations that we didn't really think. I didn't really think about here, because you always use your own childhood, I guess, as a benchmark for how you perceive childhood to be. And this was a very eye-opening trip for me, and I wrote this song about that. 2, 3, 4. Cared for happy little children. The world was bright for happy little children. All was right then. Then we learned not all little children were loved and cared for happy little children. The world is tough for some little children. Where did it go wrong? All the world in all its glory, hear the message, tell the story, wish upon a star tonight, maybe everything will be alright. Wish we all were happy little children, loved and cared for happy little children. Imagine a world of happy little children, what a place it would be. All the world in all its glory, hear the message, tell the story, wish upon a star tonight, maybe it will be alright. All the world in all its glory, hear the message, tell the story, wish upon a star tonight, maybe everything will be alright. It's not like me to end a song on a minor key or a minor chord.
And on the record, call it the record, we recorded this with Kevin Quain at his studio, and we wanted something at the end, and he had this thunder thing. He called it a thunder machine, but it was basically a huge spring, a little box up top, and then when you shake it, it sounds like thunder. So we were trying to figure out, well, how do you end a song in a minor key? And we thought, we need some thunder. Kevin pulls up this thunder machine, so you can really hear it on the record. We don't have a thunder machine. We have a kalimba, but we don't have a thunder machine. And actually, thunder machine's probably dangerous in our hands. because it is this big spring, right? And you don't want to be playing around with that thing. So a really nice ending to a nice song.
And then, you know, a little more specifically in that song, we happened to be in Malawi at a time when the AIDS crisis was hitting that country at such a high rate, and so many children there were left orphaned, and it was just heartbreaking, really. They just didn't have anyone, and things have improved though there since, which is great. But it was at a real crisis point, and it just reminded me that, you know, not everybody has the advantages. So now
here's a song again. No segue from the last song to this one.
Just part of a mixtape.
It's a mixtape,
Yeah.
and this one, here you go. Get yourself some condiments. We're gonna have some sweet potato fries. You know I like my coffee hot, I like my sugar sweet. You know I like to gaze into my girl's big blue eyes. In all this world I must confess, just one thing can pass a test. That's a taste of my baby, sweet potato fried. Fried too, yeah, I met a fella from Alabama, bragging about his girl's yams. Said they were the best in all the land, all the land. Claimed that he, the north and south, knew what he was talking about. Sat him down and took him by the hand. And I said, you know I like my coffee hot, I like my sugar sweet. You know I like to gaze into my girl's big blue eyes. In all this world I must confess, just one thing can pass a test. That's the taste of my baby, sweet potato fried. Sliced just right into the pan, bit of paprika, some cayenne. Let them fry, but never let them boil. Let them boil. Says the secret, it's the suet. After that, there ain't nothing to it. Scoop some fresh right from that bubbling oil. You know I like my coffee hot, like my sugar sweet. You know I like to gaze into my girl's big blue eyes. In all this world I must confess, just one thing can pass the test. That's the taste of my baby, sweet potato fried. Kazoo! Hey, our first kazoo of the evening, and I noticed all these little red hearts are going up on the screen. And I think that is for the kazoo and not the sweet potato fries. Here we go. Well, I've traveled around this big old world. No one makes them like my girl. Though I know there's fellers won't agree. Won't agree. I've tried them in the east and west. But my baby's sweet one's best. Her taters will go down in history. Well, you know I like my coffee hot, like my sugar sweet. You know I like to gaze into my girl's big blue eyes. In all this world I must confess, just one thing can pass the test. That's the taste of my baby, sweet potato fries. So much better than bruschetta. You could taste them if she'll let you. Love my baby's sweet potato fries. Hold the sushi and the pickle, 'cause it's your taste buds, they will tickle. I love my baby's sweet potato fries. Well, some folks like their chicken wings, but then they ain't had my baby's things. I love my baby's sweet potato fries. Taste so fine, taste so sweet, don't need no ketchup, no mesquite. I love my baby's sweet potato fry. Here we go. Well, 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4, 5 potato, 6 sweet potatoes more. I love my baby's sweet potato fry. Yabba dabba 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 do. If you ask, she'll make 'em for you. I love my baby's sweet potato fry. Well, I love my baby's sweet potato fry. You want to play us out on the chorus?
Wow, an impromptu ending.
Hey. And we end it right
I
on
don't
the
usually
note.
get invited to add the kazoo at the
Double
end.
up that kazoo in there.
Oh boy!
Well, when
Thank
we
you
were-
for whoever put those hearts on,
Yeah,
made him
well, you gotta-
come up with the idea.
The people love it. You know, we when I was recording that, I was trying to make it sound like an old jug band, and there's actually a video that I had, and I would watch, and how do I sound like those guys? And I tried, and I realized part of it, I don't know how to play the jug. So I reached out to Ken Whiteley. He's a folk music icon here in Canada. And I said, hey, Ken, you know, can you help me out? And before you know it, he said he was playing the jug on it, the banjo, and
Washboard too?
some washboard,
Washboard.
and his brother Chris was playing harmonica.
Yeah.
So
That's lots of fun.
it's a old-timey song for sure that went boom.
And
But
that one's also on our website. And even if you don't
Yeah.
have time to listen to the song, go and have a look at the picture that accompanies the song. It's so fun. We had such fun at that little photo shoot for it. Well, we are down to the last song of the night. And you know what? I see that our other Montrealer, Diana, joined us, is here tonight too. So we have two Montrealers. Wonder
Diana,
if
we
they
played
know each
Papineau
other.
Station earlier on.
Yes,
So
yeah. And I also see that Shannon and Tom and maybe even little Abby are joining us tonight. Oh, this is great. And our bass player Tony is joining us too. This is wonderful to see you all tonight. And just zipping over here to YouTube as well. Still all the same folks there. So, all right, we are going to. And Deborah is tuning in tonight too on Facebook. We are going to end on a song that we both love this song. It's by an artist from the U.S., a folk artist by the name of Cheryl Wheeler, and we first saw her in a little folk, or not such a little folk club. It was a church concert in a small town in Vermont called Middlebury, and we were absolutely captivated by her. She's absolutely amazing. And she wrote this song called Ghandi and Buddha about her relationship with her partner and how she felt she struck gold by meeting this person. And she wondered, what had she done in some previous life that made her deserving of this wonderful partner of hers. And I just think that is so incredibly romantic. So we thought we'd end with that tonight. Feel this wind blow, scatters all these leaves like paper rain. Feel these days roll back into our winter lives again. The tangle at the garden fence is brown and dry. You call me out and point to your November sky. I must have been Gandhi or Buddha or someone like that. I must have saved lives by the hundreds everywhere
Everywhere I went,
I must have brought rest to the restless,
fed the hungry too.
I must have done something great to get to have you. When the cold comes, you are by the fire, all fast asleep, I'll turn the light on to watch the snow outside fall soft and deep. When the winter morning shines all white and blue, we'll watch the dogs run through the fields like children do. I must have been Ghandi or Buddha or someone like that. I must have saved lives by the hundreds. Everywhere I went, I must have brought rest to the restless, fed the hungry too. I must have done something great to get to have you. And I suppose stranger things have come to pass. Many's the forest I can't see. I was so down and lost and fading fast. How did you find your way to me? I must have been Ghandi or Buddha or someone like that. I must have saved lives by the hundreds. Everywhere I went, I must have brought rest to the restless, fed the hungry too. I must have done something great to get to have you. I must have done something great. Well, isn't
An
that
amazing
such a
song. Nicely
beautiful
done,
song?
Sue.
Thank you. And I wonder if any of you who are happen to be watching with your significant others, did you lean in a little closer to each other during that song? It's just so sweet. I love that song.
Well, when you hear a great folk singer in a small town in Vermont in the
Yeah.
winter with, smoke coming out of the chimneys and snow all around.
It's really a beautiful memory, that concert.
Oh yeah, and it was the church was right on a green, the downtown greens that so many of those small towns have in the east part anyway.
Well, that brings
So,
us to the end of
yeah.
this show, but we do have some other shows coming up to tell you about. The next one is in 3 days from now. It's on Saturday. We'll be doing our Super 70s show, Super 70s Songs show. So many S's. And at that show, we sing songs from the 1970s top 40 charts. And, we just can't seem to stop ourselves from adding new songs to the repertoire for that one. We thought once we got to about 100 and some odd songs, we would, be able to relax and play the heck out of all those songs. But, we keep coming across new ones, and people keep requesting new ones that we find interesting to learn. So this show, I think we've got 4 new ones coming up that you've never heard us sing before. So that's kind of an exciting thing to look forward to on
Keeps us
Saturday.
off the street at night.
It does. Keeps us on our toes for sure. So that's coming up this Saturday evening. And the show is at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and it's on our Folk Songs live page, but I always cross-reference here on our Sue and Dwight page, so you should have no trouble finding us. And next Wednesday, we're back with another Living Room Live, and it happens to be around International Women's Day, so that is going to be our theme. And I've already thought of some great songs we can do for that one. And then there's 3 more Living Room Lives in March, because it's a 5 Wednesday month. And just giving you a little peek to the last Wednesday of the month, we're going to be doing a spotlight on Joan Baez. That was someone who we've had a number of requests to do a spotlight on her music. So we're looking forward to that as well. And in between all that is our 60s folk sing-along on the 3rd Friday, which I believe is the 17th of March this month. And so we hope you'll join us for any one or all of those shows. And we shall let you go now. We're going to go make our dinner, and then we're going to sit down and read through all your comments. So thanks in advance. Oh, one other thing I should mention, if you've enjoyed the show, we don't have a cover charge for the show, but we do have a tip jar available at our website. There's an open guitar case that says tips appreciated. And if you've enjoyed the show and you're in a position to be able to do so, we invite you to visit our tip jar. And I think that's it. Time to say goodnight. All right. Good night, everyone.